Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Jay Stevens podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for checking out past podcasts, man. Um, yeah, this isn't the podcast I was planning on recording currently, but to be totally honest, I was sitting in my bed watching some old YouTube videos from Andrew and Jeffrey Productions. What a time that was. And then I got into some of my earlier podcasts, things like that. While I'm waiting for Call of Duty Cold War to download, I made an impulse decision and went ahead and bought it because zombies. Anyway, so I was sitting here watching these videos, and sometimes you just get an impulse, not even an impulse, but just a feeling that you should do something, and then you sit there for a second and you're like, should I not, is this the move, what's up, and then you're just like, yeah, you know what, whatever, I'll do it, and we'll see what happens. So I guess that's really what I'm here for. I don't really have a direction for this, and I really wasn't planning on doing this. Hell, I don't even know if I'm gonna release this, but um, I just kind of felt the need to sit down, and just throw out some of my own shit for a minute. Be real, because I feel like in the current situation of the world and everything going on, it's not, I don't know, it's hard to be real a lot of the time, because part of this feels like it's all a bad dream, but it's real life what's happening, and the stuff that's going down is, it's real life and it's really happening. Um, Even though we don't want to believe it at times, things, yeah, um, you know, um, life is kind of like that, it's, sometimes it feels like a bad dream and you don't know when you're gonna wake up from it, and that's pretty, that's pretty dark, man. I mean, I try and get out here and, put myself in this position to make the world a better place, which is what what I've always wanted to do, was impact someone in some way that I make the world a little bit brighter. And that's my goal every day when I wake up. I don't always succeed at it, because I'm not perfect. Hell, I'm one of the furthest things from it. Sometimes I feel like, but part of my thought process when I wake up is, let me change someone's day. Whether that be someone that I already know or someone that I've never met before. If I can help someone, fantastic. Goal met for the day in particular. Whether that's going into work and selling to a customer that I somehow change their mood, make them feel better, make my coworkers feel better, even the dudes closest to me, or dudettes, my female friends. You guys are important as well. But the homies, the bros, the gals, just everyone close to me. In my family, if I can positively impact someone, that's always been the goal. I feel like we could, feel like that would be awesome if a lot of people thought that way. But, life is not, contrary to contrary to what Forrest Gump said, or Forrest Gump's mom, life is not a box of chocolates. It's not sweet. Man, I know that's not the quote, but I'm making a comparison, bro. Leave me alone. Um, as I ramble through all of this, that's not always everyone's mindset, and that kind of sucks. Um, Not saying that I succeed to that every day. I falter at places and I get angry and I mess up. I say something I shouldn't say. I get irritated easily sometimes, especially when I've been standing around at work all day and have no phones to sell. That's a totally different story. We'll talk about that another time. But, I feel like that if more people had a similar kind of a mindset, that things might be a little bit better. And now I'm not saying that all these other people don't have that same mindset, and when they happen to run into one particular person, maybe me, that they're just in a bad spot, because you never know where someone else is at. You don't know where other people come from. And not everyone has the same ideas, experiences, and thoughts as you do. And I think that's really important to remember. So I try to empathize with all of that. But that doesn't mean it's not frustrating, Everyone gets that. And everyone gets frustrated. It's a very frustrating time, We're dealing with all kinds of stuff that, we really never thought we'd have to deal with. Our parents have never thought they'd have to deal with, and hell, some of our grandparents have never even seen some of the stuff that we see now. And it's just kind of crazy how we keep turning to people for guidance. Who do you turn to whenever your car stops working if you don't know what you're doing? You look to someone who does. Mom, dad. I know for me, it's my dad who works at the Ford dealership. Something goes wrong, you look to someone that you know. Now we're in a time where a lot of stuff's going wrong, and we're looking to these people for answers, the people closest to us, and they don't even have one, Somehow, some way, no one's got an answer for what's happening. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It really is, because we're just expected to keep going, I guess. I don't know. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't by any means think that's a bad thing. I think we should keep going. I think you should always push through. Even when it feels like there's nothing left to push with, you gotta keep going. Till there's nothing left. Even if it, that's just kind of been my mindset, is don't stop trying. And sometimes I don't do that all the time. At work, recently I feel like I give up on sales too easily. I don't push hard enough to get a sale. And I guess that's partially because I'm still new and I'm still getting into the groove. Because I'm working with people who've done this for 10 plus years, and then my sister who's been at it for 2.5. And she's just a natural. She's just really freaking good at it. But I'm working with these people who just know. And I'm able to turn to them for guidance when I need to, but still, it's just like, I hate being a nuisance in that aspect. Because, if everyone's busy doing something and I'm like, I need help, and then, I lose a sale because I just give up. Because I guess it's because I get anxious about not doing the right thing, but that's how we learn, right? We learn from our mistakes. I think I've said that maybe 1,000,000 times in past podcasts. But regardless of all of that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, maybe we can all take a minute just to think a little bit about, our daily thought process. A lot of it is negative. I think a study that I read said like 70% of all thoughts are negative. You have like 30 plus thousand thoughts a day. And if 70% of those are negative, man, like, that's detrimental. That's detrimental. That hurts. That hurts the psyche. And I'm not saying that all our problems are gonna be solved with a mindset changing to positive. But a lot of people put out the idea that they're positive, and then they turn around and are like, man, I wish I could just, quit. Like, bro, I wish that I just didn't have to do anything. Like, I'm one of those people sometimes, I'm not saying that I'm not being guilty of that. Or like, oh, I suck at this. Or like, oh, I just can't do it. I'm definitely one of those people at times. And I'm personally trying to work on that. But I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with those kinds of things, and I guess that's why I'm trying to rectify. Not only myself, but help everyone else. Because I don't think that I don't think that some people know how to deal with these kinds of things, a lot of impulse decisions are made, going back to like that 70% of negative thoughts, man. Like, are you crazy? Not for having negative thoughts, but are we crazy for letting that happen, Not that we can stop every single person from having some kind of negative thought in their mind all the time. But changing our attitude towards other people, man, that can cut that down. What if we could take that down to like 20%? Or like 1%? What if we could do that, man? What if we could just help other people not feel bad about themselves or about other people? What if we could all just be happy? It'd be great. I know it's not possible, but it would be pretty cool. Maybe all of you people out there can prove me wrong. Make me think it's possible. But the amount of negativity that I think we see is way more than we should. And a lot of people think that negativity is just towards other people. Nah, you can be great to other people and still be super negative about yourself. And I think that's one of the worst parts, is we're so negative to ourselves that it comes off as negative towards other people sometimes. We're part of this, I guess, mindset where we think so negatively of ourselves that we just treat other people poorly sometimes. And it's deep down within your mind, man. It's not even, intentional. At this point, it's just a natural reaction. And I think that we could all, try and work on something like that. I'm not saying that it's ever going to be perfect, and I'm not saying I'm ever going to be perfect at something like that, but I think we can definitely all learn a little something, and just by looking inside our own minds, take a little journey into your own head for a minute and think about Think about you. Think about how you treat other people throughout the day, and then think about how you treat yourself. It's going to be so much worse the way you treat yourself than you treat other people most of the time. Now, I know there are a lot of selfish people out there in the world. Not saying any of you people who listen to this podcast are. I highly doubt it, because you guys are pretty cool. But what I'm saying is, like, I would probably say 70% of the population, 70% of us out there would have a more negative self-review than a review of other people. Now, I think people are really stupid sometimes. I do think that my anger for people mostly comes out when I'm behind the wheel. That's a different thing. I wouldn't consider it road rage until somebody does something dumb, like cuts me off, and it makes me sad. And that sad turns to anger. But that's a whole different thing. I'm working on it. I'm going to work on that too, I promise. A lot of that is, comes from what you see when you're younger, and how you see the people who drive you around drive, like seeing my parents drive and get pissed at other people on the road. Now, my dad was always like a passive aggressive angry when it came to that, but my mom was like super, super aggressive. She's not anymore, but she was very aggressive towards people on the road. My dad was just like a under the breath passive aggressive, and I do that a lot too, but most of the time it's just aggressive when I see someone do something dumb. Like, there's this, that's totally off topic from what I'm talking about, but I'll talk about that a different time. So I guess really what I'm trying to say is, don't beat yourself up so much, so that we can help each other out, because it all starts from within. If we're a little bit better on ourselves, I think we can be a little bit better towards people. And I don't know how accurate that is. I'm just shooting in the breeze, man. I just felt like I needed to say something and put my thoughts out somewhere. But I don't even know if I'm dropping this or if anyone else is gonna listen to it. So I feel a lot better than I did before. The last 18 minutes went by. Definitely feel a little bit calmer. Zen. And yes, I mean Zenyatta. Shout out to my Overwatch players. Anyway, all I'm saying is, don't beat yourself up too much. And if you feel like you need to do something to change yourself, man, do it. Like, if you've got something negative in yourself and you're like, oh, I wish I could change that about me, but this reason, dude, change is not always bad. And especially in a crazy time like this, something's got to change, But anyway, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for listening to my little ramble. This isn't the podcast with Ainsley that's supposed to be coming out. Hopefully that'll be this coming weekend. We can get a chance to get together and record. This past weekend, she was busy with work. I was busy with work. But we'll be getting that out probably this weekend. And then once we get that podcast out, we'll be back with Donnie, and then I think Andrew and then Evan will all be in the next couple, if they're willing. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys stopping in and dropping some support. Share the podcast, man. Share it if you liked it. I mean, you can share it if you didn't like it too. Maybe someone else will like it, But you guys definitely don't have to. I appreciate the people who do come through here. And even if you don't come through here and you never hear this, I appreciate you too. So thanks for stopping in. Check out the other podcasts. This was probably my most hard-hitting real one, I guess I would say. This is the one that I just kind of impulse did throughout a bunch of things that I've been thinking about. Didn't really plan for it, but yeah. If you guys want to share around, man. It's cool. I ain't mad at it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And sleep tight if you're watching this at night. If you're watching this in the morning, good morning. If you're watching this in like the middle of the day, what's up? Hope you're having a good one. Anyway, yeah, that's all. And leave some feedback. Appreciate you guys. Take care.